This is Game Set Match Kentucky, episode 51, recorded on Sunday, September 7th, 2025, entitled, How Round Is Your Robin? Hey everybody, it's time for another episode of Game Set Match Kentucky, where we talk about all things related to tennis in Kentucky, especially the Central Kentucky Tennis Series. I'm Chris Godby, the chairman of the CKTS, where the lines are good, sandbagging is for golf, and pickleball is for people who have given up. Am I right, Chad?
Yeah, or people who want to get hurt. I've run into a couple people lately who have been playing pickleball and they've injured themselves. So even tennis players who go play that activity, that hobby, can find themselves getting hurt.
What are they doing? Like twisting an ankle or something?
One was a wrist. I think one was a wrist. I think the other might have, done some damage to their knee, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so there's wrist involved in pickleball.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know.
Oh yeah, there's so much slapping. I'll just call it slapping. So much slapping in pickleball.
Okay. Oh, lots of slapping and lots of pickling. Okay.
Yeah.
And lots of clickety clack, I hear, from what I understand. Well, here I am in Russell Springs in my home office. Chad is in his work office at Studio D in Bowling Green, and it's always good to talk to you all about what's going on with tennis in Kentucky and what's going on with the Central Kentucky Tennis Series. So today, on this edition of Game Set Match Kentucky, we've got point standings again.
Wow.
How did this happen?
Wow.
3 shows in a row.
It's what happens when somebody's not renovating their house during the season, right?
That's exactly right. That's an excellent point. When someone's not renovating their home, they have a little bit more time to keep up with the spreadsheet of all the point standings. So we've got more point standings today, and we've got some tennis news and announcements, a whole lot more stuff that you never asked for. But we'll start with the most recent tournament we just had on the CKTS Tour, and that is the Glasgow Open. This tournament was on August 30th and 31st in Glasgow, Kentucky, obviously. The weather was perfect. It was picturesque weather, I guess you could say, and smooth from what I saw. And they wrapped up early on Sunday afternoon, and we've got the results for you right now. And I'll let Chad start with the junior divisions.
All right, so let's go to boys 12 and under singles. It's Aaron Chang defeating Alok Chaudhry 6-3 and 6-1.
In boys 14 and under singles, it was Sawyer Kurtz defeating Roger Pierce 6-1, 7-6, and 7-4 in that tiebreaker.
In boys 16 and under singles, Thomas Chandler defeats Jacob Allen 6-0 and 6-0.
In boys 18 and under singles, Thomas Chandler defeated Shepard Kurtz in the final 6-1, 6-2.
Was no girls 12 and under singles. There was a girls 14 and under singles. It was a round robin. Ava Wise was the winner. She went 2-0. Kate Donovan was second, and June Cruz finished third.
In the final of the girls 16 and under singles, it was Andrea Herrera defeating Madison Law 6-1, 6-1.
And Andrea Herrera also won the girls 18 and under singles, defeating Claire Riney 6-1, 3-6, and then 10-6 in the tiebreaker. Now let's go back here. Did you say the boys 16 and under winner was Thomas Chandler? The boys 18 and under champion was also Thomas Chandler. And so we had the boys and girls champions in the 16 and 18s for both boys and girls. I can't remember that happening too many times.
Yeah, I would have to dig way back into the archives to find a result like that. So yeah.
We'd have to hire a statistician to know that off the top of our heads.
Yeah, we don't have one of those. So all right, so that was girls 18 singles, right?
Yep.
And so boys 18 and under doubles, we have a round robin here. And in first place in that round robin was Jack McCubbins and Coleman Greathouse. They won both of their matches. The second place team was Shepherd Kurtz and Sawyer Kurtz.
Girls 18 and under doubles was Merity and Madison Law defeating Lauren Neville and Addison McFall 6-love and 6-3.
There was no mixed 18 and under doubles, so I'm going to jump on into the adult divisions and go to men's open singles, where Noah Bennett is the champion of the Glasgow Open men's open singles, defeating Gavin Morgan 1-6, 6-4, and 12-10. That's a pretty tight tiebreaker.
Men's C singles saw Steve Parsons defeat Larry Kohler 6-4, 2-6, and 10-7 in the super tiebreak.
And in men's B singles, Evan Brown is the champion, defeating Chase Cloyd 6-3, 7-6 with a 7-4 second set tiebreaker.
Men's 40 and over singles was a round robin, and Jackson Grover was the winner. He went 2-0. Gaku Mitsumatsu was second, and Carlos Herrera was third. And we'll get to that a little bit later in the points. But again, it's been Jackson Grover and Gaku Mitsumatsu all summer long. And this one went to a tiebreaker as well. If you'll remember, in the Puppets tournament, it was Mitsumatsu winning in a third set tiebreaker 10-8.
Right.
And this one, it's Grover winning in the super tiebreaker 10-8. So
I would actually like to watch one of these matches. It seemed to be I'm either not there when it's happening or I'm playing while it's happening, but I would really like to watch. I would really like to watch one of those.
It's been quite a rivalry in the CKTS between those two this summer.
Well, this tournament did have a women's open singles division. It was just a final, but we have Erin Riney winning that one over Taryn Deckard 7-5, 6-3.
There was no women's B singles, though. There was also no men's open doubles, nor men's C doubles.
Wow.
So our next division is the men's B doubles, and it was Scott and Jude Tabor defeating Clinton and Ethan Kiddick 3-6, 6-3, 10-5 in the tiebreak.
A little bit of an interesting situation in men's 40 and over doubles. This was a round robin, and we're going to be talking about round robins later. This was one of those rare round robins where it was a three-way tie. The first match was Tim Perkins and I against Bill Flickinger and Darren Polston. And after being down 4-1 in the first set, we somehow came back and won that match. So, all right, so we were at 1-0, and then Tim was injured, and Tim withdrew from what would have been the third match of the round robin. And so we end up in last place because of that default. So the champions of that division, to make a long story short, are Bill Flickinger and Darren Polston, their first place position. And when we get a little bit later in the show, we're going to talk about how they got first place position despite losing their first match.
In women's open doubles, it was Aaron and Claire Riney defeating Amber Brown and Trina Rickard 6-2 and 6-2.
There was no women's B doubles. Let's go to mixed open doubles, where the hometown team, the father and daughter team of Jarrett McFall and Addison McFall, defeat Alexis Hales and Jackson Grover 6-4, 6-3.
It's two in a row for them because they won the Puppets in the mixed open as well.
That's right. That's right.
And then in mixed B doubles, it was Alexis Hales and Chase Cloyd defeating Evan Brown and Amber Brown 6-1, 4-6, and 10-6 in the super tiebreak.
So that's a look at the results of the 2025 Glasgow Open. Coming up next, how did these results affect the standings? We'll find out right after this word from Vision Cabinet Source in Campbellsville, Kentucky. Are you thinking about a home renovation or a new build? Start with the cabinets, because great spaces begin with great design, and there's no better place to start than Vision Cabinet Source in Campbellsville, Kentucky. Vision Cabinet Source delivers premium cabinetry backed by a 17-step finishing process, ensuring top quality craftsmanship that looks beautiful and lasts for years. From kitchens to bathrooms to office spaces, their wide selection of styles and finishes means you'll find the perfect fit, whatever your vision. And it's not just for locals. They ship nationwide, so no matter where you are in the U.S., you can get high-quality cabinets delivered right to your door. Whether you're a homeowner, builder, or contractor, Vision Cabinet Source makes it easy to get the look you want at a price that makes sense. Visit visioncabinet.com or call 270-465-3222 to get started. That's Vision Cabinet Source, where your vision becomes reality. Okay, so now it's time to take a look at those point standings. These are all the way up to date. They're already on the website at CKTStour.com. Right now, they've actually been posted a few days ago, quietly. Didn't make an announcement about it, just quietly posted them and went on. This, by the way, Chad, I'll just say this. I don't know if nobody's looking at the points or if there are just no mistakes, but no one has reported any mistakes in the point standings. And there's always mistakes in there somewhere, but no one has said anything. So,
before we get into the points, you mentioned that we are recording this on Sunday, September 7th. You didn't say that we're recording it as the men's final is being played, though. So
but we already know how that's going to come out.
Do you have it on? Do you have it on the background?
No, but TV's right there, but I don't have it on right now.
Okay.
Have they started? Actually, it's 4 p.m. Central Time as we.
It's in the fourth. It's in the fourth
set already. I was thinking this match wasn't coming on until like 5 p.m.
Started at 1:30, I think.
I thought that they played. I thought that they did it like after the first set of football games. Is what?
Well, it's on ABC now.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It's not on CBS anymore.
They used to do an early CBS NFL game, and then they do the US Open afterwards.
Well, that shows how well I've kept up with it lately. But so it's in the fourth. I'm going to say that Alcaraz is up 2-1.
Alcaraz is up 2-1, and he's up 5-3. So he just held for 5-3. So
so this match may end while we're taping.
We'll probably have a champion by the time we get through the point standings. Is my guess.
I'm glad I didn't say what I almost said, which was nobody's beating Sinner.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the points. Right.
All right. So let me bring those up here. All right, we'll go ahead. You go ahead. We'll start with men's open singles.
Open singles. If you remember just a few short minutes ago, you heard that Gavin Morgan lost in the final of the Glasgow Open, but that pulls him into a tie with Young Jun Woo at 9 points with one tournament remaining. They are 1 point ahead of George Hopkins, who currently sits at third but has not played since he won the Miller Park Tennis Classic and the Sidney Cassidy Memorial in back-to-back weeks. So that one will come down to the final tournament.
All right. And, all the way through fourth, all the way through those top four positions. I mean, it depends on who plays at the Russell County tournament next week, but it can go a number of different ways. All right, men's B singles. Right now, Evan Brown is tied for first place. I'm straining a little bit. I'm sorry, because it's my monitor is kind of far away from me that has the points on it. Evan Brown and Chase Cloyd are tied right now with 13 points apiece, followed by Mason Young in third place with 10.
It's a big win for Evan in Glasgow. He had lost in the final of 3 tournaments and beat Chase in the final to tie that at 13. So I would think both of them are going to be playing in Russell Springs next weekend.
I think there's a good chance they will.
Men's C singles, Steve Parsons won the Glasgow Open. He pulls ahead of Larry Kohler, who he beat in the final, now has a 2.5 point lead. With 15 points, Larry Kohler is second at 12.5.
Yeah, it's going to come down to one of those two, but it's going to have to go a certain way for Larry.
He's going to need Steve Parsons to lose early is about
Lose
the only
early or not
minute.
play. But I think
Correct.
Steve has registered. I have seen some of the registrations, and I think Stephen Parsons has registered already. So we'll see.
Here's that one we've talked about.
Yeah, there's the half a point separates Jackson Grover and Gaku Mitsumatsu, 21 to 20 and a half points right now heading into the final tournament, of which I don't know if either one has signed up yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Mitsumatsu has played all 7 of the first 7 tournaments so far, and Jackson only had to miss one, and so I expect them both. We'll see.
I know Jackson told me he was playing, so I don't know if he's registered, but well, that's something. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tournaments. Now this last one was a round robin, so it's not truly a final, but 5 times this year they've finished 1-2
Right.
in that division. That's pretty impressive. Boys 18 and under singles, Shepard Kurtz leads Jack McCubbins 11.5 to 9. So he has a 2.5 point lead in that division.
In boys 16 and under singles, there is a half-point lead separating Garrett Rouse and Micah Goodwin, 8.5 to 8, followed by 3 guys that have 7 points.
In boys 14 and under singles, Roger Pierce has pulled away a little bit, but Sawyer Kurtz won in Glasgow to keep it close enough. Roger Pierce at 17.5, Sawyer Kurtz at 13. So those are the only 2 in contention at this point in time.
Okay, so Roger Pierce has that one locked up with a 4.5 point lead. So he is going to take that boys 14 and under title this year.
True. Yeah, that's right.
In boys 12 and under, this one still is not decided because it's only a 2-point lead right now for Aaron Chang over Reed Kicker, 16 to 14. Nobody else is going to catch those 2 guys, so it will come down to them.
Men's open doubles, which didn't make in Glasgow, has Owen Brown leading Jackson Donovan and Matthew Smith by a point. Owen has 7, and Donovan and Smith both have 6.
Men's open doubles has been a light division this year, so we only have 3 gentlemen that are even qualified to win that title. And so we'll see what happens this coming weekend in Russell Springs. In men's B doubles, look at this. We have a 4-way tie for first place right now. And the few gentlemen that trail those top 4 are pretty close to them. So we have Carson Donahue, Dan Duncan, Van Patterson, and Biven Turner, all with 10 points each, followed by a couple of guys that have, or 3 guys rather, that have 8.
But nobody's played in that division in the last 2 tournaments. So that one could have been clinched, but that'll be interesting.
Are you talking about men's B doubles still?
Yeah, I mean,
well,
none of those guys in first. None of
those guys, those guys in the lead right now. Yes,
in the lead right now have played the last 2 tournaments.
Right. They set up that lead early, and they've kind of hung back, and they're waiting to come to Russell Springs, I think, is what's going on.
Benjamin and James England have clinched men's C doubles. They have a 4.5 point lead over James and Jamison Roberts. So they've already got men's C doubles locked down.
But being only 30 minutes away, I fully expect to and hope to see them come and make it stretch that lead, I guess you should say, at the Russell Springs tournament. All right, men's 40 and over doubles. Yours truly is still sitting in a lead with 2 points over my very own doubles partner, Tim Perkins, 19 to 17, followed by Don Humphreys with 15 and Steve Humphreys with 11. And
so that is technically clinched, right?
No. Well, is it?
You can't be caught unless your partner goes Benedict Arnold and finds somebody else to play with.
Right. And I actually, Tim and I were talking on the phone about playing in Russell Springs, and we were talking about the points, and I said, I have a 2-point lead over you right now, and you could actually take that from me if you dumped me and switch partners, but
Tim, give me a call.
I'm
Because
not scared to play either one of you. So, okay. And, I hope Tim's having some back trouble, so I hope he can play. Or otherwise I may be calling some friends long distance and saying, "Hey, I need a partner so I can play." It's because I want to play all 8 tournaments and I want to lock this division down.
boys 18 and under doubles is a tight one. Leighton Thomas has a half-point lead over Jude Tabor. They played together in Bowling Green at the Pubbins event. And Jack McCubbins is a half-point back of Tabor, a full point back of Thomas. So that one is pretty much still up for grabs going into the Russell County Open.
Yeah, the top 4 are all relatively close together in points. In women's open singles, we have 4 qualifying players right now, but nobody is going to catch Erin Riney, who has a 7-point lead over Sarah Dunn, 19-12 right now.
In women's B singles, we do not have anybody qualified to win. There are 6 ladies who have won a tournament on the tour, but nobody's played a second one. So hopefully somebody will sign up for the Russell County Open or play in it and qualify at least. Might be enough to win.
And I don't think it's going to be. Well, I don't want to mention any names. And I have seen some 1 or 2 entries come in with some familiar names that I'm looking at. So who knows? Hopefully, we can give that award to somebody, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. In girls 18 and under singles, there's a 3-way tie for first place right now between Peyton Lemley, Claire Riney, and Peyton Venners, all with 10 points. No one behind them is going to catch up to them. We'll just have to see which of those 3 emerges at the top.
Girls 16 and under singles has Reagan Lee with a half-point lead over Leah Schaefer and a point lead over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other players.
Yeah.
So that one could be decided this weekend.
Someone that's so far down the screen we don't even see, because this cuts it off after what you're seeing on the screen, folks, cuts off after about the first 9 or 10 players. There are others on these pages, but just to be able to see them on the screen, I only show the top portion of this. So there are several players who could just jump right in and get that first place trophy in this division in girls 16 and under. So we'll just see what happens again. Girls 14 and under singles, Leila Owsley has that lead, even though she hasn't played a tournament in a while. She's got a 2-point lead over McKenna Clark and Sloan Tuggle and Jocelyn Vargas. All those ladies have 5 points each, 2 behind the leader.
Nobody's qualified in girls 12 singles. It's been a pretty light event on the tour this year. There are 2 players tied at 4. They've won the 2 tournaments where 12 and under singles has made, but they'd have to play another one to qualify for the title.
Once again, I hope that's one where we can, give away an award to somebody. Yeah. So, all right. In women's open doubles, Trina Rickard, the director of the Glasgow Open, is in first place by 2 points over Erin Riney with 1 tournament left to play.
In women's B doubles, Amber Brown has a half-point lead over Alexis Hales, Jessica Owsley, and Emma Schneller, with Heather Wise a point back and Becky Stahlball a 1.5 back. So that one's still very much up for grabs as well.
I don't expect Amber Brown to play in this division. That's simply a prediction. I have no knowledge of that. Just based on what she has done the last couple tournaments, I'm not predicting, unless she really wants to lock up this title. Maybe she is going to play women's B doubles, but
I think there's another division that they're more locked in on, right? I'm trying to see if they're. I'm going to move ahead a little bit, but
I flip back here to women's open doubles, and Amber has played it once last weekend at Glasgow with Trina.
Yeah.
and I am predicting them to play again together.
Well, she's
And
played
that's
mixed.
because
I don't mean to jump ahead, but she's played mixed B the last 6 tournaments. I have a feeling that
she'll
might be
play that one. Yeah.
that might be priority. Yeah.
I think that's probably a priority, yes. All right, so then let's look at girls 18 and under doubles. Is this your turn or mine, Chad? I'm sorry.
I think it's yours.
Okay. Girls 18 and under doubles. Peyton Lemley is the leader right now with 10 points, but Allie Bird and Leela Owsley are close behind her with 8.
And I think I was wrong. I think it was mine. But I'll take mixed open
Go ahead.
double,
Yeah, sure.
which has already been locked up. Jackson Grover and Alexis Hales were runners up in Glasgow. But I don't think the McFalls can catch them mathematically because you get a half point if you play, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Half
So
a
it's a
point just for playing.
it's a 4-point lead over Addison and Jarrett McFall and Mason Young and Morgan Robertson. I'm sorry, no, Morgan's at 5. It's just 3 players who are at 8.5. Mason Young and Jarrett McFall would be in second place behind Jackson in the men's, and then Addison McFall would be in second behind Alexis. But as long as Grover and Hales enter that tournament, they should have that one locked up.
And last year, Jarrett and Addison played in the Russell County tournament, so they may play it again. And even though they can't catch Grover and Hales, it could still be an interesting final if they were to meet in the final. I don't know who else is playing yet, so. All right, mixed B doubles. Amber and Evan Brown are husband and wife in first place. Amber has 16 points. Evan has 14. No one is going to catch either one of them, and they will win mixed B doubles.
Well, I mean, could Chase catch Evan? I mean, he's probably not likely. It's 2.5 points, though.
Like I said, the screen is a little too far away from me, and I may have read that wrong. Oh, yeah. Well, it's mathematically possible. Yes, it is mathematically possible for Chase Cloyd to catch Evan Brown. So I stand corrected there. You're right.
It's one of those where it depends on the size of the draw because that can make a
Yes.
difference between if you lose in the semifinals, but there's only 4 teams, you're going to get 2 points. If you lose in the first round in a bigger draw, you're only going to get a half point. So that's one of the factors that goes into that. Mixed 18 doubles. We have Sean Guinea and Ray Sobiek both with 8 points. So they lead over Sam Nelson on the boys' side. He has 6, and Madison Gibson has 5 on the girls' side. So it's Sam, or I should say, Ray's lead is bigger than Sean's is, but they're both in first with 1 tournament remaining.
All right, so that's a look at your current 2025 point standings heading into the final tournament, which is coming up this weekend. So let me get those graphics up, Chad.
By the way,
There we go.
Alcaraz is your winner. I had a feeling going to be the case.
Give us the final score. If you can see it.
Well, it was 6-4 in the third, and he had a couple match points. Sinner hit a backhand return winner up the line at 40-30. But final score 6-2, 3-6, 6-1, and 6-4 for Alcaraz. So he prevents a repeat champion. We had a repeat champion on the women's side with Sabalenka defeating Anisimova in the women's final yesterday.
Okay. Well, congratulations to Alcaraz. I'm sure he watches the show. I'm sure he's a big fan. And, we would just like to give him a personal shout out and say congratulations. Yeah.
He's welcome to come on the podcast at any time.
Do you think maybe he'll play next weekend in the Russell County Open?
I haven't seen the entries either, but
it's open, so he can play. He would probably have to play in men's open.
He can't qualify for the points race, though. You got to play 2 tournaments.
Right. He can't win the division, but he could certainly play in the men's open singles because we might need him to make that division happen. But anyway, so this is the First National Bank Russell County Open. And entries are now open for our 8th and final tournament of 2025. This is it. It all comes down to this. This is a tournament that was once upon a time known as the Laker Classic Open, and it was one of the original 4 CKTS tournaments for about 5 years. And it was brought back last year with a new name, and we had a really nice little tournament last year. Laker assistant coach Nate McQuarrie is the director of this one, and we're hoping for a good turnout next weekend in Russell Springs at Russell County High School.
You know, I wasn't able to make it over last year. I don't know that I'll be able to make it this year either, because September is a pretty busy month, and I hope that's not the issue for a lot of folks that they can't make it over. But yeah, I mean, new courts at Russell County last year, right? So, you know, they got great facilities. It's pretty centrally located for the tour, isn't it? Isn't Russell Springs maybe on the southern end?
I would say Campbellsville or Glasgow is more centrally located among the tournaments, among the cities where we play. But you know, it's right of center. It's east of center, I guess you should say. So,
got it. So yeah, I hope so. People, I mean, the weather looks like it's going to be great. You know, if you don't like playing in the heat, play in these September CKTS events, because last week in Glasgow the weather was wonderful, and the forecast looks pretty good for next weekend as well.
We're going to use Russell County High School, obviously. That's the base of the tournament. Jamestown City Park has 2 nice courts there that we are also using at least the first day. And I'm even opening up the backyard for people that want to play here in my backyard. So, yeah.
Wow.
And there's still a little bit of time left to register if I get this show edited in time, that is. Or you may be watching this after the deadline has passed. It depends on how much editing I have to do and how long I have to do it. So be sure to get in before that entry window closes, if it hasn't closed already, on Tuesday night, September 9th at 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And as always, you'll go to CKTSTour.com to get started. Game Set Match Kentucky is proud to partner with the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. For only $11 a month, you can help provide homes for veterans and first responders in need.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation has made a promise to eradicate veteran homelessness across America.
They've served, they've worked really hard, and I think that what Tunnels to Towers is doing for the people vulnerable, like giving them a sense of community, that's incredibly important.
And it feels a lot like home.
Hey, I'm Pete Alonso. Let's go Mets, and let's help the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
Go to T2T.org for more information about how your donation can make a difference.
Okay, Chad and I are going to go back and forth here with a few announcements for USTA Kentucky. First of all, nominations are now open until September 15th for USTA Kentucky Awards. You can nominate individuals, organizations, facilities, and events for various recognitions and awards. You can check the USTA Kentucky Facebook page for a graphic that looks just like this one, and they have other reminders too for the same thing. But this has a link to the nomination form. It's actually not at USTA Kentucky's website. It's at Southern's website. So they do have links on their Facebook page that will take you there for this nomination form.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long to nominate. I think some people might get intimidated thinking they don't have enough information, but just provide whatever information you can that can help the committee understand why they're deserving. I would encourage people to do so. Kentucky Tennis Weekend is a fabulous weekend. This is kind of the last event, usually, the USTA Awards. The Razor Racket Foundation does a great job with that event all weekend. It's a wonderful event. So there's a lot of deserving people out across the Commonwealth. So if you know somebody that you think deserves recognition, go ahead and nominate them. All right, there's also time to register for the Razor Racket Golf Scramble. This event will be held at the Lake Forest Country Club in Louisville on October 27th. An early registration discount is still available until September 21st, Sponsorship packages are also available. Those are due by the 21st of September as well. Full details on registration and sponsorship are available at raisearacketgolfscramble.com. This event supports the Raise a Racket Foundation, which is the charitable arm of USTA Kentucky. They help with need-based and performance-based scholarships. They give money to parks departments and facilities across the state. So if you also know someone in need in that regard, check out Raise a Racket to find out how you can apply for the funding that they provide.
They're doing a lot of great things there. And if you'd like to be a volunteer to be a part of the Raise a Racket Foundation, they are seeking volunteers for committees and events throughout the year. USTA Kentucky is also accepting submissions to serve as a volunteer or as a committee or board member. Just visit USTAKY.com and look for volunteer opportunities under the About section of their website.
Owensboro Parks and Recreation will have fall tennis clinics for youth and adults beginning on September 16th. Running for 6 weeks at Moreland Park. No experience is needed. Rackets can be provided for those that need them, and family discounts are also available. This is a great opportunity to learn the game of tennis and have some fun this fall in Owensboro.
Finally, we'd like to extend our congratulations to the 3 new inductees to the Kentucky Tennis Hall of Fame. Andrew Varga, Brian Martin, and Terry Bennell will be formally inducted into the Hall of Fame on Friday, February 6th, 2026. Congratulations to all 3.
Yeah, especially to Terry, who has been a big part of the tennis scene in Barron County. Has run the Weldon for several years. The People's Bank is the sponsor of the Mr. and Miss Kentucky Tennis Award. Terry has been involved with the Glasgow Open or previous versions of Barron County's CKTS tournaments, helping Trina. Terry's a former president of USTA Kentucky, so he's involved with Raise a Racket. So congratulations to Terry Bennell. He's had a big impact on tennis in the CKTS listening area.
He's the only one of those 3 gentlemen that I've had the pleasure of meeting, but perhaps at the Kentucky Tennis Weekend, I'll get to meet the other 2 guys.
Yep.
Maybe they'll sit down with us at the table. And
sure, absolutely.
That would be really cool. Well, for more details on everything happening with USTA Kentucky, visit them at USTAKY.com or on Facebook and Instagram. Those handles are there on the screen for you. And if you would like for us to promote your local level tennis events right here on an upcoming episode of this show, you can email us the information to info@gamesetmatchky.com. So let's look at some upcoming events. Once again, we've got the First National Bank Russell County Open, September 13th and 14th. September 13th. Chad, what do we know about September 13th? Why is that? What's significant about that?
Is it your birthday?
It is my birthday.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Wow. You want to guess my age?
Do you
remember,
really want me
I'm older than I look because I moisturize. So.
Do you really want me to guess? Because I think I think you're 54. Is that accurate?
No, I'm 55. I'll be 56 Saturday. So
okay, well,
maybe by the time I'm finished editing this show, I'll already be 56.
I was in the neighborhood. You just look so young. You don't look a day older than 55.
Once again, I moisturize. So that's that's what I tell everybody. I moisturize, and I thankfully still have most of my hair. So anyway, anyway,
we
so
both still
it'll
have
be
hair. It's just a different color now.
Oh yeah. I'm just glad to have it. So yeah, I'll be playing on my birthday, which I can think of few better things I would like to do on my birthday than be healthy enough to play a doubles match in beautiful weather with some good competition. So September 13th and 14th, Entries opened last Monday, September 1st. The deadline is Tuesday, September 9th, 6 o'clock Central Time. You can visit CKTSTour.com to register and to see our complete tournament schedule, which that tournament schedule is already finished for this year. But you can see what else we're doing because you can follow the CKTS on Facebook, Instagram, and X. The handle is at CKTS Tour. And as always, our tournaments are USTA sanctioned for juniors and adults at level 6. Our results are also picked up by UTR. Don't forget, too, by the way, that in November, we don't have the exact date yet, but in November, we will have our Aces and Appetizers event. So just go ahead and leave the whole month of September open for that, folks. Because
November.
What did I say?
That's September.
Okay, sorry. I got the birthday on the brain still. So, no, leave the whole month of November, yes, open for the Aces and Appetizers event. We don't know exactly when it will be, but just, if you're an award winner, first or second place in a division, you played all 8 divisions, or if you just want to come and be there that day and have some free food and play some free indoor tennis, then just save the month of November for the Aces and Appetizers event. And with that, Chad, do you have any other announcements to share with us?
Well, you mentioned volunteers. I will say we're needing volunteers for the USTA combo doubles tournament, which Bowling Green will be hosting October 17th through the 19th. The tri-level tournament was this weekend in Hendersonville, or Henderson, Kentucky, not Hendersonville, Tennessee. So we are hosting combo on the 17th, 18th, 19th. We're going to be at 3 or 4 sites in town. If you played USDA tournaments, you know how important it is to have volunteers at those sites. So if you're interested in volunteering, contact me, and we can certainly use the help. They've made it very easy to be the site volunteer. If you've played USDA tournaments, you're sent to the courts via your phone. And so all the volunteers do really is to, make sure they know when courts are available and distribute the balls and answer some questions. So it's not as overwhelming as folks might think, and we could certainly use some help with volunteers. And then the CKTS tournament schedule wraps up, but we've got another tournament just around the corner. The Bowling Green Open, which I will be running, is September 26th through the 28th. So it's just a couple weeks away. The entry deadline is actually 2 weeks from tomorrow, the 8th. Tomorrow's the 8th. 2 weeks is the deadline. The 22nd as the registration deadline for that. That tournament is a level 4 tournament, so there's a lot more USDA ranking points available. We've got some great prizes in the goodie bag, or great player gifts, I should say, in the goodie bag. We have a lot of the same divisions that we have on CKTS. We've got men's 3.0, men's 3.5, women's 3.0, 3.5, 4.0. We have open divisions, but we also have age group divisions. So we have 30 and over, 40 and over, 50 and over, singles and doubles, men's and women's. We have mixed. So that tournament will probably be played here at Buchanan Park, the indoor and outdoor courts. But that tournament is just around the corner. So deadline is 2 weeks from tomorrow to sign up for the Bowling Green Open.
So age division, so elderly folks like me can play.
Sure. It is on the 10s, so you'd still be playing in the same division. You'd be playing in the 50s.
Yeah, I can't play those young 50-year-olds. No, there's no way I can hang with them. No, unfortunately.
So last year was just age group, but we've tried to expand that a little bit because a lot of people would rather play at their NTRP rating level than at their age group, because that can be very different. I mean, you might think you're playing, a lower level, and then you end up playing the 50s, and you end up playing against Chris Godby, and you got your hands full. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Be scared, for sure. All right. Well, you can learn more about anything happening in Bowling Green by visiting the Soki Tennis website at sokytennis.net, or their very active Facebook page is at facebook.com/SokiTennis. Chad, believe it or not, we have a challenge the call question today. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah, can't
All
wait.
right. So this connects back to the men's 40 doubles division that finished at the Glasgow Open in a 3-way tie. So the question is, how are the results of a round robin decided when the winning is equal? Can you give us the quick explanation of that?
Well, I'll go to your friend at court because it's what I thought, but that's what we have to use is the USDA's friend at court since we're a sanctioned tournament. So friend at court basically says, if you have a 3-way tie, I'll backtrack. If you have a tie in a round robin, now the CKTS only does round robins with 3 teams. So you'd always have a 3-way tie. But there are some divisions where they do a round robin with 4, and you could have 2 teams tied. If you ever have 2 teams tied, it's just head-to-head. In the 3-team round robin, we had this at the Puppets tournament a couple weeks ago. We had 3 players who went 1-1. But one of them lost in a 3rd set tiebreaker, where the others were determined by straight sets victories. So sets lost is, or maybe I think it's usually sets won. Anyway, it's sets. So here's what friend of court says. If 3 or more players are tied, the referee shall use the following steps. Will break the tie given these steps: head-to-head, win-loss, which really doesn't apply. The player with the highest percentage of sets won of all sets completed. So if you go back to the Glasgow Open, Bill Flickinger, Darren Polston, they went 1-1. They were the only ones that played all their sets, and they went 2-2. Steve and Don Humphreys, they won their match by default, but that is not scored. So there are no sets played. And then Chris and Tim Perkins won their 2 sets and lost 0 because, again, their loss is not scored. And so it goes by percentage of sets won to sets played. So there were a total of 8 sets played in those matches, and they won 2 out of 25. So did Chris and Tim. But it also says, when breaking a tie, only completed sets counts as sets won, and only completed games count as games won. A player who has defaulted for any reason other than lateness shall not play in subsequent matches and may not be declared the winner of the round robin. A player who has defaulted, retired, or creates a walkover shall finish lower than every player who has an identical match record. So with that said, Chris and Tim, because they defaulted, had to go to the bottom.
Yes.
And then it goes to head-to-head. And so because Bill and Darren beat Don and Steve, they won the division by going by winning that head-to-head. They also would have won by sets because sets is the next determiner. And then it's games and so on and so forth. So it actually goes highest percentage of sets, and then it goes highest percentage of games and so on and so forth. But there's a whole system of how to break it down. But what we had, the computer did it. We just had to understand what the computer did.
Right. Yeah.
If you are the team,
mention that Serve Tennis does it for you. The software does it for you. But
if there's a tie and you're the team that created a win by default or a walkover, you're automatically last. That puts you last, and then it goes head-to-head, and then sets 1 percentage
of sets won,
1 percentage,
and then percentage of games won. Okay.
Correct.
So I wonder if there's a way it can be tied even further than that. Like, what if his percentage of games won is the same? I'm sure that's possible.
Percentage of games won. It says head-to-head win-loss record in matches involving the players who remain tied. Player with the highest percentage of sets won, of sets completed. Head-to-head win-loss record in matches involving the players who remain tied. The player with the highest percentage of games won. And then you can eventually just get down to a coin flip. So,
Oh, really? Actually, it actually says that coin flip. Wow.
Well, it says if the referee has applied all the steps and a tie cannot be broken, the referee shall use a random drawing among the remaining tied players to determine their order to finish. So
oh wow, that would be brutal. Yeah, I'd say go back out there for one more super tiebreaker. I think
first serve in.
All right. Well, that takes care of it, maybe, or does it? How round is your robin? It's pretty round in this case. So, anyway, well, thank you for that challenge the call question. And if anyone else has one, you could email us at challenge@gamesetmatchky.com. We always love digging into these. That's going to serve out, though, this edition of Game Set Match Kentucky. I'd love to thank everyone for watching and listening. As always, you can subscribe with any podcast app on your mobile device. And in that device, you can also give us a 5-star rating and leave us a short review. Our website is gamesetmatchky.com, and you can follow this show on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X at the handle @GameSetMatchKY. Chad is on X at Chad Young Tennis, and I am on X at Chris Godby. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Vision Cabinet Source. And this is one thing I miss at the US Open is the drama of these replays. It's all AI and robots and everything, but still, we're out. Hawkeye still says we're out. So, anyway, I am Chris Godby with Chad Young, and this has been Game Set Match Kentucky.